Barney,
So
welcome back. I want to dive deeper with some of the acquisitions you have done, the way Barney thinks, because a lot of times we talk, there's some really good information that comes out on both sides of us, especially when we start talking about money-making opportunities. But one of the things that I think that is overlooked is trends that are happening that there's just so many ways to make money in it. One of which is Barndominiums. One, you build them to sell, which ironically, we're going to team up on some plans and Barndominiums. I own a platform, Contractor Pages, so it fits right in there. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is what got you into this Barndominium, because it wasn't originally a Barndominium, and then you got the idea. You have an exit on it, which is a very good, lucrative, money-making opportunity for you. So let's talk about that, some of the development that you've done, why you thought of the Barndominium, including Airbnb. That's another way of making money. Is you can build to sell, you could build to rent out, you can build as Airbnb or vacation style properties where you're selling the vacation. This property, which I'm going to show some pictures, has amazing views, like beautiful views of the Allegheny, Cattaraugus County mountains. So let's start there. So you bought this property. What was it before? What got it to where it is today?
the beginning, this is my second barndominium that I built.
Nice.
The first one was in Pennsylvania. Excuse me. And in Pennsylvania, I bought a farm off there. And then the farm, it was like I had cattle on it, this and that. The next door neighbor's house was going for sale. I ended up buying the next door neighbor's house for investment property, and I rented out the house. Then there was it needed a garage. So I ended up building another barndominium there, the first one that I built. And I had Amish built. It helped me out.
Nice.
Okay. And then when it's built, it was like put radiant heat. I made it where I had a garage. And then I lived in the garage, but then I made the living quarters it turned out really beautiful. You could never even tell it was a garage. What I had was a hot tub there. I had
Wow.
kitchen. I had a beautiful bathroom, big open space room with the bedroom and living room all combined.
Nice.
So it was like an efficiency, but bigger than efficiency. I could fit 3 cars in there, plus everything.
I'll be down.
So I used the garage incorporated with the kitchen behind it, which
Okay.
was like a bachelor's type pad, but it was
Yeah.
very nice. And then I ended up moving after I retired and moved to Florida. I missed this area, so then I bought a place in Jamestown, New York.
Okay.
And then I bought an old farm, and I wanted to buy cars, so I wanted to build a barndominium. But at that time, it was a garage.
Yes.
But this place had just 3 sides to it. And it was more like a machine shed where you put your tractors
Oh, okay.
and that kind of stuff. So we did that, and I looked at it, and I said, you know what?
So it had no cement floors at that time?
No, nothing. It was just dirt floors.
I find with the Barndominiums, a lot of them have the heated or cement floors. Is that typical?
I would recommend that.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Because if you have a barndominium, you really don't have a basement.
Yes.
Because you got extra space. You use your garage as your basement.
Yeah.
Then you do a 2-story with a loft, so you can have the attic as your basement where you could store things. But I would recommend.
Personally, I don't like basements.
No, because there's a lot of
fighting,
problems.
Yeah, you got radon gas. You're fighting the elements all the time. Water. Anyway.
Yes, and then you got radiant heat. The radiant heat is very complex, but it's simple to do.
Yeah.
But
and efficient.
It's very efficient. Once that cement heats, it's like a radiant type heat. It just keeps the heat.
Nice.
And your floors are warm. And if the cement's warm, it's like an oven. It'll just heat up everything out. And then you got fans, of course, to regulate what you need.
Yeah.
There's the one that I had in Pennsylvania. I had probably 6 stage. Even the garage was incorporated into the one unit, but it was 6 stages to it. I even had it where it went outside. So that way I wouldn't have to do my cement, like the cement driveway. I didn't have to shovel it.
Wow.
Because the excess of that went around. It didn't even cost me any extra because that excess of the radiant heat, the tubing, went outside, the sidewalks. So I never had a plow. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's very efficient. And like what we're talking about it, I think you can't build it any cheaper than if you stick build it,
Right.
because it's mostly posts and beams,
Yeah.
very solid. You got the steel that never needs to be painted. You got a 50-year warranty. You put it on this roof, you put it on the side, very
And it looks
efficient.
sharp. It looks
Yeah,
sharp.
and then you got to put the good insulation. And the way I would do it is I would actually spray in the insulation,
Okay.
because the spray in the insulation is the best way to go, because then it's really airtight.
Yeah. Very good.
But expensive, but
Yeah.
it'll pay off in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, very nice. So this one's going to become an acquisition. Beautiful. You're selling the views for sure. A lot of land, about 80 acres. And there's another house on it, which you didn't refurbish at all.
When I bought this place, I gave life use to the people that owned it at first, and it's been in the family for 200 years.
Okay.
So there's a lot of history here. I have an old well in there that is probably over 200 years old.
I'll be darned.
It's unique, but it's something that it's history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to say the name of the place, but they named it after the 200 years.
And what-
So this place they gave them life use. They lived here for about 3 years after I bought it. And unfortunately, one passed away, and then the other one's still in the nursing home.
Oh, okay. Wow. So opportunity is everywhere
Yes.
to get a hold of these things. So one of the things that we were talking about, matter of fact, I've got a few properties that we're looking at now, decent pricing, which I want to talk to you about when it comes to land. So land right now they're calling it the new land grab. If you can get land, get it, right?
That's right.
Let's talk about, if you were looking for land, what would you be looking for? What would be in your mind saying, okay, if I'm going to buy land, it must have these 5 things, 3 things, whatever. What would you be looking
Well,
for?
of course, if you're going to buy, it's what kind of type of land you want to buy. If you're into timber, you want to buy something that hasn't been timbered out. You know, right now,
'Cause that's
timber, it's money.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of work to it.
Yes.
Now you're buying the land. After it's timbered out, what is it really worth? Unless you're young, and then you can reseed it.
Yes.
And if you do, how would you call it? Uniform type cuttings.
Yes.
Every 5 years you cut.
Yep.
And then you cut another section. That takes forever if you're into that. Now there's money into it. But me, I like the views.
Okay.
If you could buy a land with views,
It's money.
It's money in the pocket. If it's tillable, money in the pocket. If it's the land, it's got to not have swamp. If you have swamp, then
Right.
you got swamp. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So you got to buy nice land. I think tillable and farming land is the way to go.
Okay.
Right now, you can't. It's premium. I wish I had 1,000 acres right now. I think right now in this area it was like $1,500.
Yeah.
Now it's up to 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7. It depends how good it is.
Right. Yeah. And then of course there's gas rights on some of this land that's for
and
sale.
that's even nicer.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that one of my buddies did, he knew he was going to put a property out back. It had all oak and maple trees back there. So he sold what was going to be cleared anyway.
Yeah.
So he sold all that. So he had them clear out and take. So they marked the trees, and that paid him a decent amount of money to go towards his build. So he bought the property for a price, tilled it, or had it timbered, and which cleared it out where it needed. But he did one thing smart. He says, listen, he went with the company. He says, I'll go with you if you clean it up, which a lot of them do, meaning they're getting rid of the root, or they're getting rid of the, whatchamacallit, the stump and all of that, stump grinding or whatever. And they got to fix the property because they bring in like a makeshift road and it's all rutted and stuff. He said, I want you to grade it and pack it and then put the number 2 stone in. And they agreed because they had that as a side business anyhow. It's a timber company. It's pennies on the dollar for them because they own it. I thought that was brilliant, though. He got so much out of it. He already paid for the property. And from my understanding, I believe, I'll have to check the numbers, that by the time, because the people that were selling this land didn't really realize how much money was in the trees itself. But he had to have them cleared anyhow. But he wanted some trees, mature trees, to make it look as if, you know how it is. You develop an area, the house is up and there's nothing. Now you got these little trees that are planted and they're being rooted and they got to be held with stakes. He didn't need that. He's got mature trees already established and it was strategic to where it looked like it was meant to be because they carved it out, if you will. I thought it was brilliant.
The other brilliant way of doing it too is I've heard a lot of people that actually cut their own wood to make that house. They'll take it, they'll cut it, and they'll put it
Pine
and dry
junction?
it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they let it sit for a year, and then they start building. If you have time, that's another way. You don't have to pay all the lumber costs.
Yeah, I'm
You got
actually going to
everything
put
there.
some photos
Yeah.
with Pine Junction here. It's one of our favorite restaurants.
Oh,
I just
wow.
love
Even
that
have a
look.
tree growing in
Yeah,
front,
yeah, yeah.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
And that started out as a little shack, and look at what it's doing now.
Exactly.
And to me, if you look at my Barndominium, I think you're going to show.
Yeah, I'm going to show
You're gonna
this whole
show
thing.
some of the pictures that you can see all the natural woodwork that's in here. It brings it out. But
Yeah.
then I like that industrial modern look.
Yes,
And
for
I'm
sure.
into the industrial look and that type of mix it up a little bit.
yeah.
And if you see now like black, if you could see my staircase and all that,
Right.
it brings it out. It just brings
It does.
everything out.
Yeah.
It just looks so homey and beautiful, and I got a fireplace running. You would never think this is a Barndominium until you go inside
No,
and
no,
see
for
it.
sure.
If I were to redo it again, I would put like a nice patio portion in front and
Yeah.
like a wrap.
Yeah, I'm going to
around
show
and-
them
Yeah,
before
yeah,
and after.
and then you could show the plans that we were going to look
Yeah, for
to
sure.
sell. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, it's very efficient. There's no way that the cement work is going to be there anyways. But you put the heating inside the cement work.
Yes.
The key is to get that on-demand water supply.
Yeah, the boiler.
Yeah, you got to have a good water supply to keep
Yes.
that running.
Very cool. Yeah, I love it. So I believe this is first of all, it's very hot. I think here's one of the gifts that my wife and I have, whatever her and I like becomes a trend. Does that make sense? So we're thinking the way people like.
Yeah. And that's how you do it. That's how you
Yeah.
decorate.
Yes.
When I buy and fix up things, I do it to like people's taste.
Yes.
And if you think about it, I did that first Barndominium about 10 years ago. It wasn't even hot. I would say I was a pioneer in it.
Nice.
If you really
Yeah,
think
yeah,
about
of course.
it.
Of course.
I just got that exotic type mind where
Yeah.
if someone says I can't do it, like I had a piece of property, a plaza.
Okay.
I built
I
a
remember-
house on it. I
we
built
were
a
in the
house on
plaza one.
top of it. Yeah.
Yes, you did.
You actually
Yeah,
rented
yeah,
it from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how
absolutely.
we first got to know
Yep.
each other.
Not the house, but we were in the office. Yeah.
Yeah, in the office space. And then someone says, "You're crazy." I put it up there. It
No,
was
you-
one
you
of
did
the
a good
best
job.
moves I ever did.
Yeah. 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 I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
That would make a great Airbnb today.
Oh,
Think about it with all the things to do in that area.
yeah. And the thing is, the investment is already below it.
Yeah.
It's like people are paying for you to live up there for nothing. And I
Yeah.
put up a house that probably, if it was on land, it would be worth probably $250,000, $300,000.
Yeah, for sure.
It was beautiful. I loved it. One thing about Barndominiums, anything with real estate, this and that, you got to remember, and stocks are never insured. But if this place burns down,
Yes.
if this place, the wind takes it or damage or
Yes.
whatever happens, you got insurance.
Your money's always
You
protected.
are always going to get protected and get your
Yep.
money back.
100%.
And that's why you invest in real estate. You
For
never lose. Land never will go away.
Yeah, now, I want to speak to that real quick too. I believe, matter of fact, if I was going to purchase something from you, and we've talked about this, I would put this in a SPE, which is a special purchase entity, LLC, whatever. Now it's a business. And opposed to when you sell real estate, you're going through this right now.
Yeah.
You sell real estate, you're dealing with their attorneys and closing and surveys and you name it. Whereas if you put it in SPE, everything is within that SPE, special purchase entity. You're buying it. So what I love about this is, as long as your attorney does the job or the buyer's attorney does their job to make sure, okay, that property is in the SPE, there's no claims against it, no lawsuits against it, no liabilities against it. They sign a liability waiver or ensuring that there's no claims against the property, liens, judgments, stuff like that. They do their due diligence on the property to make sure there's no liens or judgments. But what's cool about it is now it's not really a real estate purchase. You're buying the business. Nothing changes. So the real estate taxes remain the same. Everything remains the same. I love that. Now, the other thing I wanted to speak to, and by the way, the next pod, we're going to talk about credit cards, how to utilize them good, what you're doing with credit cards. because a lot of people don't really talk about the behind the scenes of making deals or behind the scenes of money and cash flow and leveraging. And what I want to talk to you about right now, we're not going to disclose the sum of money, but it's a decent amount of money that you're going to be getting from this acquisition, including future acquisitions. You agree with me that you're never going to retire. You retire from, I look at retirement this way. You retire from what you don't want to do no more.
That's
So
right.
I might retire 4 more times of what I don't want to do no more, but I'm always going to be doing something. I'm
Right.
always going to be doing deals. Deal flow is fun.
Right.
But here's what I want to ask you. So this is where it's fun. And this is when you and I were talking one day and you're like, we need to do a pod. And I said, absolutely, because this is where it's
How did it start? We started at having a drink.
Yeah, having a drink
And
at
then
a club.
we knew each other, then we became better friends. And then we talked about it.
Yeah.
And then when we start talking, you could see the people come into our talk.
Absolutely.
Because we were like, you're interesting. And then you thought I was interesting. When you had two interesting people, no, we got that type of mind where
Entrepreneurs attract entrepreneurs.
And
I knew you were an entrepreneur before I knew you.
Yeah, it's just that you get attracted to it. It's like now you feel like your family. So you get to trust people and then start talking. You give them ideas of how I did it. What's the mistakes I did? And like you have your own children. They don't want to listen to you. Here we did it. Why don't you listen? You see what we've done.
Yes.
Listen. But then when they make that mistake, they come back and say, Dad,
there's a certain age. I
Yes.
call it a set point.
Right.
And they're like, Dad
right.
was
And that's why we're doing this, because I don't want people to make that mistake.
exactly.
I've done it for you. And I tell you that once you make that one mistake, you never do it again and you double up on it.
So let's talk about this. You sell a place, you're going to put that money into another like-kind property. And then what's the financial move you're going to do?
I'm going to probably buy something in Florida.
Yeah.
Because right now, you got to really be safe with your money, because God forbid if you got to go to a nursing home or some kind of facility, the government takes your house first.
Yep.
It's that. There's a trust. Yes, there's a revocable trust, irrevocable trust. But then if you do irrevocable trust, that means your children has command of you.
Yes.
Now you lose. Now to
you
me,
lose control.
And then I'll never let that happen. So the only way that I feel that is safe, and one thing good about Florida, I know the weather, this and that, it's hot, hurricanes. But if you buy a place in Florida, you are called homestead.
Yes.
And then they can never take it away from you.
No judgments.
No judgment. Yeah.
You get a judgment, but
They can never take the house. As long as you pay your taxes, this and that. You go to a facility, a nursing facility, you got to come back one day of that year. And I told my son, if I don't ever send me there, please.
Even if I'm drooling.
Yeah. But if you do, bring me back in the ambulance, put me in the garage for that one day, and then they can never take it away from you.
Wow.
You make sure that happens.
I'll be damned.
That's another thing.
I didn't know that, by the way.
I bought because I hate to bring him up, but O.J. Simpson,
I know.
he went through all that stuff, and he still had his mansion.
Yes.
Went
to Florida. You know.
That's why in Florida. He was safeguarded. They could never take that house away as long as he paid his taxes.
Yes.
So a lot of people don't understand that, but that's one thing good about
And they're
Florida.
looking to remove the taxes now.
Now 80 to 30 they pass.
Wow.
So that means that's one step.
Yes.
Now it's got to go through all the or whatever.
And they got to hurry now, right?
By the time it happens, I think by next year or 2 years from now, you don't have to pay property tax. There would be.
I don't think it should be anywhere. I think they got to come up with a different model.
I don't know if we should be political, but I saw the State of the Union where he wants no income tax.
I know.
He wants the tariffs to pay for all our income.
Right.
And I can't understand why some people fighting
Would
that.
want not want that.
Why wouldn't you want
It's because
something
you're
like
in
this?
somebody's pocket. That's
I
know.
We shouldn't get political.
Yeah.
There's two parties, and that's what you feel what you want to feel like. But to me, that's the way I'm going to try to put my money into something like that. And there's another thing called long-term care or life, whatever.
Yes.
That insurance. Now, if I buy a place, I could always have somebody come and watch me in my own house. I call it my own resort, my own nursing home. I want a pool. I want this. So that way, if I got to be contained in the house, I'd rather be in my own house than in the nursing and paying somebody's. I already bought that insurance. They got to take care of me for the rest of my life.
Sure.
So that's another thing that you got to think about.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Here's the other thing. The last thing, and then we're going to close this one. You got the money, you buy something. Once you purchase something, let's say we purchase something for $1 million. You were talking about taking a mortgage against that because no income tax.
Yes, you can do that. That's leveraging.
Yeah, you leverage the
And then
property.
if you take the money out of the mortgage, like I own this clear. And if I took a loan out of this, it's tax-free. I don't have to pay tax. And then if I rented it out, people would actually pay for my loan.
Exactly.
And that's how you do it.
That's how Warren Buffett, a lot of them.
And all of them are doing that.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are doing this, that grantor type.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we looked it up. It could be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, it's a little tricky to it.
Yeah.
We're gonna deep dive. Matter of fact, we have a group that meets on Saturday. All day today. I've been thinking today's Saturday. But we meet and they're multimillionaires and they all have these very good tax pro professionals that they do business with. And some of the deals that are making, and one of these days we're going to talk about arbitrage. And I don't mean the online arbitrage. I mean anything. Arbitrage is a big moneymaker. But at the end of the day, some of these tax moves that they're making, 100% legal. And he says, Tim, one of the gentlemen, his first name's Alan, says, listen, I don't know exactly what you make, but I know with SaaS, if I was to sell, I'm going through an acquisition now called, I better not say it, but it's a software, video software. And it's going to be north of 3 million. I can say that. Matter of fact, there was a podcast, a YouTube channel. My first, or let's say, what was it called? Starter Story. Who knows what he made, but it was a lot of money. It's life-changing money. But so when I look at an exit, I'm looking beyond the exits. Okay, I got this exit. What am I going to do with that money? Because you want to pay, because let's face it, almost 50% goes to taxes if you don't do it. Right. So these are the things that I'm looking at. Some of them are like 1031 exchanges or whatever it is. Is that the right one? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a 1031.
I think
but then you got it in 6-month period. You got to buy something.
Yes.
Right away.
Yeah. And it's got to be like kind.
It's got to be the same type of thing. Yeah. Investment of some sort. And it can't be any lower. It has to be higher than what.
Right. It's got to be equal or higher.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's all these things that we want to talk about. And one of those, including with even credit card stuff. So on the next pod, we're going to go deeper in the after strategy. So the first strategy is having an acquisition, build up a Barndominium, sell it. You can even do it without your own money, which we're going to talk about, like other people's money. I've done that many times. And then when you cash out, you're paying them off with a decent amount of interest until you got going with your own credit.
You're talking land contracts, balloon payment types. Yeah. I bought several places like that. And then what I used to do is had 2-family, 3-family houses, and I had where I used to work had good employees. Yes. So I used to rent the houses to them. And then when I see that they're paying their rent very well, they would ask me, or I would say, hey, but they would ask me, would you be willing to sell this house? I said, of course I would. It's all paid for. So I would say, okay, I'll take so much down.
Yes.
And I will hold it for 10-year mortgage. You got like 3 months. If you don't pay, then I could start taking over the payments. And then, that's all baloney. But a lot of them, I make sure they can make it. Right. And usually I used to sell it. And at that time, it was like 14%, 15%. It was high. But I'd go 10%. I was happy.
Yes.
So that house that you sold for, say, $80,000, at the end, if they stayed the 10 years, you probably made a couple $100,000 with the interest and all that. And a lot of them, I try to tell them, pay it off in 5 years.
Yes.
That way, but some of them would take it, but 10% is a lot. It was at 15, so I still cut them a break.
Yeah, of course. It's given them an opportunity
to have them build.
I think it builds the character. It builds their people that have assets tend to level up.
And I was being fair. And I wasn't trying to steal from them, and I want them to make it.
Yeah.
I've never taken my house back, which is
good for you.
Yeah, I would never do something like that.
I agree with that. What I was referring to, though, let's say I was going to get into the Barndominium business. I can, in a matter of phone calls, even now, I'm looking at some plazas, and immediately one of my group members, if you will. So it's a mastermind group. There's now 13. It's supposed to be 10. But he says, wait a minute, what kind of plaza? And we started talking about the plaza. And he says, I'll tell you what, do you have somebody funding it? I said, I'm not there yet. I want to make sure I want it first. Matter of fact, there's another one I'm looking at as well. And they're the ones that got me to like these type of assets. And even though I'm a SaaS guy, software as a service online, so I look at real estate in many different ways. There's real estate that's digital online, and then you have real estate, monthly recurring revenue online. Then you have real estate that's physical, like plazas, stuff like that. There's things I will invest in and things I will not. I will never own a single family resident and rent it out unless it's Airbnb. But I wouldn't do that. I'm not a landlord and I never want to be. However, I will own a plaza, but I want to fill that plaza with a few of my own businesses.
Yeah, but you be careful how you say that. But if that place was in a good location, like on a lake,
I know. Oh yeah, that's different.
definitely,
That's
definitely, I would buy.
Yeah,
it.
that I would do.
Then you do that Airbnb.
It depends on the quality of the customer.
You
Yeah,
got to have that. But if it's just a regular house,
Yeah.
a regular downtown area,
I wouldn't
no.
do it.
You got to at least have 2 to 3
It's just a
families.
hassle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because one pays the mortgage, and
Right.
the other one you could put in your pocket. In actuality, you run both of them out.
But what I love about it is that quick because he knows who we are. We own Sparterra, and I made them a app, and relatively quick, and they just were blown away with it. And then I showed them a couple arbitrage that they did, and it earned their respect to where he's immediately, tell you what, I'll fund it 10%. Let me know. You don't even need any down payment as long as you're buying it. So he says, I'll help you buy it.
Right.
So what do I, let's say I'm going to use let's say you're buying something that's 6 million and it's worth 6 million, but you were able to get it for 5. That's got $1 million equity in it. That's what he's talking about. Okay. So now
That's leverage.
as long as it's leverage,
Yeah.
and as long as his equity his money is protected, he doesn't care. But so that quick, I can get into something with none of my own money.
The next time that we talk in our podcast, we got a formula that we have to put out where you got you got to make so much. If this business is like that plaza is making this kind of money, you got to come out with 7 or 8% more after that, and that's your profit. We have that formula. We have to maybe talk about the formula and how to do it where you actually buying something, not overpaying. Because I almost bought I was into a lot of businesses, and I almost bought some businesses, and I had a good accountant. And he'll go, Barney, don't do it. You're 100,000 over. So I try to get to the guy and ask him, you're 100 over.
Right.
And he goes, no, I got these old parts. I think I made a mistake because, can I say what? I knew it was a big.
You don't have to. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a boatyard.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was huge.
Nice. I've been attracted to that too.
It
By the
had
way,
250 slips.
Oh, I know where it is.
You're making 200. You're making like thousands of dollars on each slip, and that right there is making you ton of money.
Plus, it's a
Little
economy
that
of
you're
its own.
selling.
Yep.
Then you got the boat storage, the winterized, because he had like about 40, not 40. I would say maybe 30 to 35 huge sheds where you could actually store the boats.
Yep.
One of the largest ones in this area. And the parts that he was selling, I think I made a mistake. And I think, not at that time, no, because money was tight at that time.
Yeah.
And it's before the COVID and all that, way back. But I would have made my money before that happened. And the guy was getting older, he wanted to sell. But then I thought about it afterwards. He had old parts for boats. And guess what the old parts were?
Oh.
Chris Craft.
Yeah,
all them beautiful antique boats.
Yep.
Even
Johnson
had an
Motors.
antique boat. Yeah, I could have eBayed them out.
Yes. Fortune.
I would have made a fortune.
Yep.
That 100,000 would have made me
And
over
stuff
$1 million.
like that.
Yeah, and I made a mistake.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You got to think it out. Okay, you got old parts. And I listened to my accountant, which is great.
Which didn't know though.
Yeah,
Right.
but he didn't know either.
Yeah.
But he saved me on a lot of deals. Really, he helped me
Gotcha.
out. But that one mistake, I thought about it afterwards. I said, oh my God, eBay was getting big.
Yeah.
They're selling online. And these are these parts that maybe cost you a dime, but you could have sold it for $50
For sure.
because you could not find them again. He had them.
Yeah. Wow.
the antique
Yep.
wooden
I know exactly what it
crisscross.
is. Yeah.
Oh, and that's a big thing. A lot of people
it's
still
very
have
collectible.
very collectible. That's
It-
why I wanted to use that word
Yeah.
collectible.
Yeah.
Oh, it's if you. I collect cars. I used to collect cars,
Okay.
and then I liked antique cars. I liked Mopar stuff. Now to find a part, you can't. You got to pay what they want if you want to keep it original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife and I went to Graceland, which I loved. She loved it because she's just a huge Elvis fan. I'm there for the business opportunity. I'm there to learn the business side of Elvis and Priscilla. Priscilla was freaking brilliant in her own right. Matter of fact, Graceland probably would have been torn down and rebuilt and privately owned if it wasn't for her. That's another story. But at the end of the day, matter of fact, I even made a whole thing on Elvis versus Alex Hormozy for a reason, because he's a creator. So I'm a creator. Matter of fact, we're going to see epic. I love anybody that's a creator, and Elvis was a creator for sure. He created that whole brand. But what was cool is going into the museum, all these cars, you would have just died.
Oh,
What is it called? The Stutz?
Yes, I can't think. Yeah,
Never knew that car existed.
yeah. He has a collection.
Yeah.
It was a
It
beautiful
was
collection.
beautiful. Matter of fact, it was the last car he was in
Yeah.
driving
Yeah,
before he died.
he was in the Cadillacs.
That too. Yeah, that they were in there.
Yeah,
So it was really cool to see. But what was cool to see from the humble beginnings to his fame.
well, he was. Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah. But yeah, and then collectibles are a big thing. All right, let's wrap it up. Barndominiums, if you want some plans or whatever, see a little more on Barndominiums and that type of opportunity. I've got a link below that we're putting together. And if it's not there, come back, but it should be there.
Yeah, and the one thing that we got to tell you about Barndominiums, because you're going to build one.
Yeah.
You asked me that question. How long does it take?
Yeah.
I think it would take you 6 months to get it from start to finish. And
I think a lot of it's because of the slab work.
yeah,
Just
it's
lots
just
work.
slab work. You got to make sure it's dry. You got to do the radiant heat. You got to make sure everything is steeples, all that work.
Hire the
But-
right people.
But you know what? It could be even less.
Yeah.
You could put it up quick. And especially, it's all it is a pole barn, which then you got to frame it. But
Yeah.
it's solid. It's never going to move.
Right.
You make sure you go high. Because that way you can make lofts. You can make whatever you
We're
want.
going to film ours. So
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
take you from the beginning to the end.
And yeah, so we're going to get into this kind of business, and I think it's going to do well. And I wouldn't be feeling to tell you that's the way to go because it's efficient.
Yeah. I love
There's less cost. You don't ever have to paint it.
Very low maintenance. Like,
Low maintenance.
it's insane how, and what I love about a Barndominium, if you use the metal siding, is the fact that it keeps everything out from
Right,
insects to rodents.
Yeah. It's 50-year warranty on all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're blessed because we have some really good, what's the name of it here locally? The one in Sherman.
Oh,
Akeley.
yeah. No, yeah. Can you say that? Wow.
It doesn't matter.
No. But it's like an Amish run type of
Yeah, it's like a
industrial-
Home Depot,
yeah.
but better.
better. Yeah. It's got everything.
Yeah. It's Eastern Estates. Yeah, I don't mind giving them a plug. I don't
Yeah.
care. Yeah, they're incredible. And it's local. Obviously, you're somebody that's in
They,
Carolina's not going to
yeah,
order from them.
Yeah. It started out with their father, and then the sons took over because the
Oh, wow.
father, he passed
I was
away.
so shocked when I went in there and it's Amish people with headsets on. That
Yeah.
just, that was like
Because
a mind fuck.
the new Amish can
Yeah.
use that kind of stuff, and they got
Which is-
yeah, but it's a new type of Amish.
Yeah, but they still got that tax credit
Yeah.
for being Amish, which is funny. Anyways, nothing against them. I love them. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to employ quite a few of them with our build. I've got, and thanks to you, I've got a lot of different ideas. And I always talk about that, having a really good circle of entrepreneur friends, because that's what flushes ideas out. You might have an idea and it's like somebody talked about another thing. That's, oh, wait, I didn't see that. And then all of a sudden your idea becomes something else. And that's what this property is going to become
Yeah,
in
and-
itself.
And like that new podcast that we were talking about, remember credit cards?
Yes.
I said
We're gonna- that's the
cash
next
is
one.
king and all that, but then we were talking about it, and then
Yeah.
I thought about it. I said, "Oh,
And which cards to go for.
yeah, which
Yeah.
cards?
We're going to talk about
Cards will
that.
pay you,
Yeah.
to use that
Yeah.
card.
And you're going to want that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
and
we're
you
gonna
wanna
talk
pay
about
it
that
off,
on the next
but that's the
podcast.
next time.
All right, let's wrap it up. Cheers, my friend.
All right, cheers.
And
Oh,
by the way, congratulations. Yeah, end
yeah,
with that
and
real quick.
We got to do this. It's yesterday's history. Tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift.
Absolutely.
It's always been a gift. And it's always
Absolutely.
a gift to have us together, and
Yeah.
hope everybody learns from us.
Congrats on this Barndominium.
All right.
And
We'll
yeah,
see what happens.
yeah, absolutely.
All right. And see what happens to yours.
Absolutely. Thanks, folks. See you on the next pod.
Thank you.
Peace.